Well, hello. It's time to launch out into the deep. Launch out into the deep. Those were the words that the Lord Jesus spoke to Peter after a long night of work in Luke 5 and 4, during which Peter labored and toiled with the other disciples to catch fish, but the Bible said that they had come up empty. They could not catch anything. And so after that night of frustration, Jesus comes along and commands Peter to go back into the deep waters and let down his nets and try one more time to find what he was looking for, which was a great catch. And so what does he say? Those famous words, launch out into the deep. And so that's what Jesus tells his disciples. Launch out into the deep for a great catch. And so to launch out into the deep requires faith. You know, it doesn't take much faith to splash around close to the shorelines. It's a place to start for a beginner, but God intended his children, you and I, to ultimately go into deep waters. Ezekiel 47 speaks of waters to the ankles, then to the knees, then to the loins, and finally he talks about waters to swim in. Walter P. Pinkin, the author of the book The Psychology of Achievement, says that thousands of young people can double, triple, and even quadruple their effectiveness simply by being aroused to creative audacity. Creative audacity, he calls it. If they just launched out into the deep of creativity and bold aggressiveness in life, life changes for them and for you. Launch out into the deep of education. Launch out into the deep of socialization. Launch out into the deep of religion. Launch out into the deep of spirituality. Launch out into the deep of economics and financial astuteness. Launch out into the deepness of helping people. Launch out into the deep even in your relationship with your family, your friends, your spouse, your children, and your grandparents. However, you can't be afraid, as Jesus said to his disciples, to launch out into the deep for a great catch. You can't be afraid. Fear will not help you. But the problem is too many people lack courage because at a still deeper level, they lack the immense energies which a real launch into the deep program demands. And they dare to do it. No daring spirit. Throughout my life, I kept having people say, I dare you, Larry. I dare you to go to seminary. I dare you to get a doctorate degree. I dare you to take that kind of a job. I dare you to believe your church can do that. I dare you can do better. I dare you to think that kind of way. I dare you to look beyond what you're looking at right now. I dare you to move into higher heights. But Jesus and Pinkins is putting a dare before you and I right now. Pinkins tells his reader that he used to train boxers, that often he would find a brilliantly clever boxer who was indeed clever but failed to rise in the sport. Why, you ask? Because he lacked the punch, because he showed physical fatigue long before lesser skilled rivals came along. And in the long, grueling run, they lost out, and they lost those many fights. You see, it is a tragedy indeed to see an ambitious person striving after some goal he has or she has neither had the energy for nor the ability to reach. But it is 1,000 times greater tragedy and a more common one to see potential, I'm going to call them generals, like Colin Powell, and black presidents like Barack Obama, and senators like Warnock out of Georgia, or poets like Maya Angelou, and even vice presidents like Kamala Harris and others. It is a tragedy to see spiritual and mental leaders passing by unnoticed as they remain in these lesser positions. They're still working fast food services. They're maintenance persons. They're unemployed. Some of them are drug pushers and gangbangers when they could be presidents of the United States of America. And so how does Barack Obama, for example, goes from being in what they call angry, smoking marijuana, hanging out, to the President of the United States of America. I think one of his key was that he started making new friends. It didn't just happen. He started listening to new voices, even in college, and ultimately even at Harvard University. He picked himself a different set of friends, and things changed. He started seeing life in a different way and how he could make a difference in Chicago. He did not inspire a career but rather he had a calling to lead that led him to the White House in Washington, D.C. And so can you move where you are to where you need to be? The answer is a resounding yes. Sometimes all you just got to do is launch out into the deep and also make yourself some new friends. There's some folk you got to let go. I close with this illustration. When I was a young person, we had hand dancing back then. We didn't dance apart, we took hands. And when I would find a partner who could not dance correctly, I changed partner and found myself someone who could dance and even teach me how to dance. I encourage all of you, especially young folks, find yourself some new partners that can dance and that can dance with you and that can teach you some new moves in life so that you can go out and start living high life by launching out into the deep. God bless you. We'll be talking soon. Have a great day.